Hello, welcome back to my Slow English podcast. Today, I want to tell you some more gossip. You all love chisme, fofocar, so here is some more. So, the full story is I planned to meet my boyfriend in New Zealand. He is from England. We met in Thailand 1 year ago. When I met my boyfriend, or ex-boyfriend, he had a girlfriend. And he kind of liked me. I could see. But I always said no. You have a girlfriend. Until I didn't. And we started dating. Being boyfriend and girlfriend. After 3 months of traveling in Asia, we went home. He went to England, I went to Mexico. Then I went to visit him. I visited his family, his friends, his home in England. Then he visited Mexico. He visited my friends, my family, my home. We were together. Then he didn't like Mexico. He said, "Why don't they speak English to me? Why are they so rude?" I said, "Because you look like a gringo. And people don't like gringos. And ni modo. That's it." But he left to New Zealand. He left where they speak English, where he knows the language, and where apparently people are very nice to him. He has so many new friends. But I bought my visa. I bought my visa because he calls me every day. "I miss you. I love you. Please, please, please hurry." I'm here working for the money for the visa, for the money for the ticket. Every day. I miss him very much. He missed me very much. Until I bought the ticket. Then, 6 days later, after I bought the ticket, he calls me that he cheated. It's strange because I had a dream that he cheated. So I was very sad and emotional, and he did. It's the intuition. So I was crying, I was yelling, I was very, very sad. 2 weeks passed, and I decided I want to go see him. He called me every day. "Please, please, I'm sorry, please, I'll never see her again. I was drunk, I was whatever he was." So that's why I said, okay. So I call him. I say, okay, maybe we can do this. And he is acting strange. He says, I don't know. I have so many friends here. I still am friends with this girl. And I'm like, what? You call me every day begging me to forgive you. Now I'm here forgiving you, and you don't want me to go anymore. So I yell, I'm angry. Then I decide I will still go. I say, it's okay. I'll go. I love you. And then he tells me he's still with this girl. He's still this girl. And my heart just shattered. I felt so betrayed, angry, sad. I felt like I didn't know him because I thought I knew him, but I didn't. So I screamed, I cried, I said very mean things to him because he deserved it. He still does. But I had to hang up. Then I went to my sister. I cried some more. I went to my dad, to my mom. I cried some more. I went to my friends, to everyone, to you guys, and I cried. And now I feel much better. I feel better because I dodged a bullet. I dodged a bullet. I won't say anything bad about him, but that's the story. And I still feel sad every so often, but I also feel very happy and excited for my future and excited to do things just for me. So if anyone is going through a similar situation, just remember that you alone gave and had all that love. All the beautiful moments with that person came from inside yourself, not from them. Yeah. And I hope he doesn't see this video because I still want my 21,000 pesos back. Hello. Welcome back to my Slow English podcast. Everybody asks me if I play the guitar. I understand why you ask or wonder, but I barely play the guitar. I used to want to learn, but like everyone who has a guitar, I got bored of it. Releasing your creativity is super important. Whether that's playing an instrument, or dancing, or cooking, or drawing, we all need an outlet. So, How do you release and express your creativity? Hello, welcome back to my Slow English podcast, a podcast to help you practice English listening for beginners. Today, I will talk about my family. My family is very important to me. I have 2 siblings. I am very close to my siblings. I have 1 brother and 1 sister. My brother is 15 years old. He loves playing video games. He is much taller than me. But he does not look grown up. He still looks like a kid. A very tall kid. My sister is 23 years old. She studies quantum physics at university. She is also an English teacher. She is also taller than me. She likes to travel and also play video games. Do you have any siblings? What do they like to do? My mom is 42 years old. She is also an English teacher. She teaches students in the United States. My dad is 51 years old. He is also an English teacher. He teaches students in Mexico. What about your parents? What do they do? Do your parents work in construction, education, management, or healthcare? Hello, and welcome back to my Slow English podcast. Today, I want to continue talking about my sickness. This podcast is for advanced English listeners. My doctor told me to stay hydrated and to keep taking my medication. And wait, and I would eventually feel better. There wasn't much else I could do. And I don't get sick very often. But when I do, it's usually pretty bad. Right now, I'm just lucky that I'm at home with my family to take care of me. Just the small things like cooking a meal or making tea or even going to get more medicine. It's really nice to have my family with me to take care of those little things. I've been sick when I'm alone in foreign countries before. And let me tell you, it's not nice. I've been lucky to find people to help me while I'm traveling and friends that I make along the way. But essentially, you're by yourself and you have to buy your medicine by yourself. You have to cook your meals by yourself. You have to make your tea by yourself while still traveling and paying for the places you need to go. being alone in a foreign country while you're sick did end up helping me in a way. I definitely felt a lot more independent and comfortable being alone in different situations. It taught me to fend for myself and to take care of myself more. Being sick anywhere isn't nice, but I've learned some really cool remedies for different sicknesses. Have you ever gotten sick in a foreign country before? Tell me, what was it like, and what are the things you had to do alone that were the most difficult for you? Hello, welcome back to my Slow English podcast. Today, I want to talk to you about a job interview I had a few years ago. This podcast is for B1 to B2 English listeners. A few years ago, I applied for a job at a big company. I saw the job posting and I thought, this job looks perfect for me. So I updated my resume or CV and I sent in my application. A few days later, I received an email on my phone. It was an email from the company. They wanted to schedule an interview with me. I was thrilled, but also a little nervous. On the day of the interview, I dressed professionally and I arrived on time. When I got there, I met the hiring manager, and she was very friendly, but also very serious. The interview started with a few common questions. She asked, "Can you tell me a little about yourself? Why do you want this job? And what are your strengths and weaknesses?" I tried to answer confidently, using examples from my previous experience. Then the manager asked me a difficult question. Can you tell me about a time you faced a challenge at work? I had to think for a moment. But then I shared a story about a problem that I solved in my last job. She seemed impressed. And at the end of the interview, she asked, "Do you have any questions for me?" I asked about the company culture and the next steps in the process. She told me she would contact me soon. And a few days later, I received a job offer. I was thrilled that I was hired.